All right, guys. Well, a day like today, I certainly don't want to be out working on my daily driver rig, but in the interest of saving myself about 1,200 bucks and hopefully helping you do the same thing, I'm going to show you guys today how I'm going to change the radiator out in this, my 2003 Chevy Silverado 2500. Here's the rig that we're talking about today. It's a 2500 HD 2003 model, and it's rough. It looks a little rough, but she runs like a champ. I got a pretty good bargain on this thing when I bought it, but easy there. I got a pretty good bargain on this thing when I bought it, but what I didn't notice when I was shopping for this thing was this repair that it had been done on the radiator. And when I'm out driving on a hot day and really working this thing, as you could probably expect, she likes to leak a little bit of coolant out. So what do I do to fix this thing? Well, first thing I did, I went and I made an order on Amazon. I'll put a link down below in the description of exactly what radiator I got, but I ordered myself a brand new radiator, and it was it was less than 150 bucks. Okay, I'm under the truck, and under the driver's side of the truck, looking up at the radiator, there's the radiator up there. Right about here, right there is a little petcock, and I'm going to feed this up there so you guys can get a good look at it, as that'll make your lives easier if yours is functional. There you go. Now the deal is, usually we just go in there and you crank that petcock, and if you want to do this a real nice easy way, you can even stick a little hose on that drain and run it right down into your bucket, drain it all in there and not spill a drop. However, since my petcock apparently appears to be in-op, we're gonna have to go the old other way, which is over here to the other side. We're gonna have to go the other way, which is here on the other side, which is gonna be to come up here, disconnect that lower radiator hose, and then just let all the fluid gush down on us. I'll try to get my camera out of the way before that happens. You guys shop for trucks like I do, and you buy garbage that's got a couple 100,000 miles on it and it's already been molested to heck. This stuff goes pretty painfully. Come on, get out of there. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, perfect. Piece of cake. Always wear your eyewear. Tell you what, I tried to keep it off of my face and off of my driveway, but you know, you win some and you lose some. While that's loosening, or while that's draining, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pull these clamps loose on all these little hoses. Come on now. Every one of these is going to fight me, aren't they? There we go. Okay. We got that one off. We'll get the top radiator's hose off this side. Easier said than done. Hey, now the clamp comes off. We'll push that back out of the way where it's not going to drain anywhere. Okay, so that clip right there, they're kind of a pain. And of course, GM made a real special tool to get in there and undo them, which I don't have. So I'm just going to come in here with a screwdriver and I'm going to work this plastic ring loose on the front. See that? We pop that loose, and then I'm going to get my handy dandy pick. And you can see here there's it's just like a slide-on clip. And I'm going to come down here on the bottom portion of it and work that guy out a little bit. Just like so. And when it starts to come out, just keep in mind that this dude will take off if you just give her the old heave-ho. So you want to get it started like that. Like that started, and then slide under. And just pop it out, just like that. And it'll probably disappear down in your bucket, which you have under the truck collecting antifreeze. And then this hose just slides right out. Put that one back so we don't get crap in it. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did to get this hose off on my next hose down, and then one more clip down at the bottom. Okay, so I got those clips out, both the top hose and the bottom hose. Everything's off this side. Now I need to come around, my next move is come around to this side of the truck, to the driver's side, and basically do the same thing. I've got the top hose, bottom hard line to unhook, and then a little known trick. If you order the same radiator I did, you don't have to freak out when you start losing those clips, because The new fittings come with clips in them, so no stress there. All right, so on this side, I just got to repeat the same process, popping these loose for these cooler lines. I do appreciate you guys watching these videos, watching the ads, giving the old thumbs up, subscribing, telling friends. Yeah, I don't want to have to work on the old daily driver, but you know, God gives you the skills to do something, might as well save a little money and do it. Only thing I'll tell you is if you have the model like mine with the engine oil cooler integrated into the radiator, when you pull this these hoses off, especially the bottom one, you'll get engine oil to run down on your driveway as well. So lucky for me, we have that. Now I'm just going to come along here and pull off these bolts that hold the radiator shroud in place. Should be a couple of those on top. And then we can come through here and unclip this radiator shroud. Now I'm going to show you guys where those clips are. And again, if you get a truck like mine that's been heavily molested already, you won't have these fancy, like these clips that are supposed to be down here. You'll have stuff like zip ties holding it in place. And that's pretty easy because then I can replicate that when I go back together with it. Okay, I've got the old fancy zip tie remover tool. Put it to work. Ooh, looks like they tripled up on this side. It's extra cautious, extra safe. Am I going to get away with this? Looks like I am not. Okay. A lot of people have their opinions on these aftermarket intakes. I got to tell you, I did not install this one on the truck. It was on when I got it. Love to hear your guys' opinion. They worth it? They add power? They add just coolness the way they look? You guys tell me what you think. There we go. Got that thing out of the way. We'll move this bottom shroud. Just kind of pick it up a little bit and set it back the best we can. And now all I have to do is disconnect these two bolts up here, which should be about a 13 millimeter. And then the radiator should come right out. There we go. Come on now. There we go. You're free. Yeah, like this guy right here. There we go. Just got to work free a little bit. It's got some bushing that it rides in the bottom. Bushings that it rides in the bottom. Now this guy's ready to come out. All right, here's a little closer look. So you guys that are saying, hey Joe, why are you pulling this radiator out that's working just perfectly fine? Well, this is what I'm afraid of right here. This doesn't look like your normal JB weld. This might be some kind of fancy magical stuff that I haven't even heard of yet. Is that a big deal? No, except I just know Murphy's Law that when this thing decides to go, it'll be while I'm towing a trailer and I have my 3 kids in the car with me and I'm going over Vale Pass or something like that. All right, so always a good idea to do this comparison. Make sure it's the same size. Make sure everything, the fittings are going to line up the same, that kind of stuff. And here's the fittings that came with the radiator, as I talked about earlier, and they have the clips in them, which makes life so much easier. And on the engine oil cooler side, these have an O-ring, they're O-ringed, and on the transmission cooler side, they have a seat on them. Let's see if I can get in there to focus, and focus on that. It is seated, so I shouldn't have to put any tape on any of these threads. I will put a little lube on these O-rings so they slide in there without galling or hanging up. Otherwise, that radiator looks like it's in pretty good condition. I just got to put these in, snug them down, and then I have to put my mounts, because they should have hung up on the bottom. Yep, I got my mounts that go on the bottom of the radiator that are hung up on that one. I'll slip onto there, my rubber bushings, at least on one side it did. Slip them on that new radiator. Be time to slide it in the truck. Okay, I got things kind of cleaned up. You know, this is a good opportunity. You want to get down there, make sure that's not rusted out. I'm just kidding, it's plastic. If you want to take it out and see what the metal underneath is doing, that's up to you. But I did make sure that these are set in, right there. I've got my bushing set in this side, and I've got my bushing set in that side. But you can see the bushings over there, and it's set in and ready to go because these little prongs down here on the bottom of the radiator rest right down in those. So now that that's set up, I'm ready to stab the new radiator in. Okay, here we go. Try to make it look like all the guys in the movies do. Come on, get on down in there. And shroud's in the way, yep, of course. Okay, it's easy, one side's in. Get in there. There we go. Both sides in. I have to say that qualified as pretty easy. Oh, we got these bushings to put in the top too. I'm gonna go rob the bushings that came out of the top of this on each side out of the old radiator, and then I'll just use my screwdriver and we'll pry those guys back in. Here's the bushing, pretty easy. She just pops right in there. Let's go like that. Get in there, get in there. Pretty easy. There we go. One side, other side. How you doing? Okay, must have headphones in. All right. Stick to myself. I'll just be a weird guy over here talking to my truck. Fine with me. All right, those are in. Now these bolts can go in. Okay, there we go. Oh, this radiator actually has clips for the bottom of it to ride in there. I think the clips were broken off my old radiator. Oh, well, now I know why they were broken off. Son of a gun. And based on, yeah, I better get this in now. I was gonna put my hoses on first, but I know how that would go. I put my hoses in and I wouldn't be able to get to where my shroud goes in. So, shroud's hooked up, or dropped in there. I've got the two bolts on the top, and then I have those, remember those fancy zip ties. Okay, so I got the radiator set back in. I'm gonna do just the extreme close-up for you here, so you get to see how easy this should be when I go to put this clip back in. And this guy comes in just like this. Now watch, if I did this right, this should just pop in, oh, and then does not come out. There we go. And then that that fancy little plastic ring just comes around and snaps into place there over it. There we go. Just comes around and snaps into place. There it is. Okay, I just have to repeat that process 3 more times and all my hoses will be in. Alrighty, so I have all my clamps and my hoses hooked up. I started at the bottom on the passenger side, and I started with the bottom hose and then just worked my way on up, clipping each one in or putting the clamp on, making sure it's nice and tight. Of course, making sure the clamps are square so they don't pop loose and fall off another time, just like that one's nice and square there. And now she is ready for me to start dumping that expensive antifreeze in there and fire it up and try to get the air to go all out of the system. And of course, I didn't add this earlier, but the most important thing you do, one of them is, when you go to put this thing in, make sure your petcock is tight. That way you don't dump fluid all over the place. All right, well, I'm gonna let that thing come up on temp and let the water continue to pull down in there. And as it does it, I'll top it off. It should be just about done. All right, friends, while we're waiting for the truck to warm up, I don't want to miss the opportunity to give a shout out to a few friends of mine. I got some stickers in the mail a while back from some friends of mine that I have made over Instagram and part of the YouTube community. First one's gonna be BSB Garage, Built Shoulda Bought Garage. And you can see that fine looking station wagon that Mark built on his sticker. I recommend you guys go give him a follow, check him out. He posts a bunch of stuff daily. It's Built Shoulda Bought Garage. Like, I built a car, but I should have just bought one instead. And that's on Instagram. And there he is. That's his car again, the LS Sabre. He's got a 5.3 LS motor in there. It is a pretty sweet car, actually. And then another friend, he threw a sticker in there for, that's Gateway Automotive. That's Gateway Auto Indy on Instagram. Go check Rusty out. He's pretty cool. I think he's going to be swinging through here in a couple of weeks for Rocky Mountain Race Week. He's going to be coming through here with his son. And then you might ask, how did I meet these dudes? How do I know them? Well, they recruited me, I think, way back and had me join their group. There's the sticker for dudes who love cars and Jesus. If you're into that, it's awesome. I am. I think it's cool. I do a lot of a weekly Bible study with these guys, and they're on Instagram as well. And it's just dudes who love cars and Jesus. And it's pretty much just like it sounds. Bible study, talking about cars. A bunch of the guys are going to meet up during Power Tour this year and go hang out in the Southeast where Power Tour's happening. Anyway, good group of guys. Those stickers are going up on the sticker board. Thanks for following along. So, all told, about 150 bucks for the radiator. I only used 1 gallon of the antifreeze, and that was 15 bucks. So, 165 bucks. There's the time. It's 12:49 right now. It started 11:30, so an hour and 20 minutes. That included a few minutes of talking with the neighbor there off camera. So you could probably do this in an hour if you're competent. Change the radiator out on the 03 Chevy pickup. Save yourself about 900 to 1,000 bucks. I sure appreciate you guys following along. As always, please hit the like button, subscribe, share with a friend, and hang around because we're going to be doing more adventures in the old Model A pretty soon. Thanks.